Welcome, everyone. My name is Stephen Michaels. Welcome to the greatest show on earth. This is the Raiders Daily Podcast. All right, we are going to go through everything. Well, not really everything. We're going to do this kind of quickly. We got to recap the 2020 season. I have not done a public show since before the Broncos game, before Week 17, which was a meaningless game, so I didn't really honestly feel like it to do a public show when I do my regular shows in the greatest Raider fan group in the world, the Raiders Daily Elite. Now, that's my own subscription service where I did like a 2-hour recap show of the season. But for here, we'll try to get this done in under 25 minutes. That's always the goal. So anyways, let's talk about the 2020 season. It started off pretty good, right? Everyone was pretty happy. All the Raider fans, you guys were on fire, right? Beginning of the season, remember the Raiders went to Carolina and they beat the Carolina Panthers. Now listen, the Panthers, they weren't very good, but still, the Raiders went on the road and they beat Carolina, a game which I always say, good teams should beat bad teams. And I think the Raiders are a lot better team than Carolina, and they proved that in this game, even though it was close at the end. The Raiders, I think, pretty much had this game, won all game. The Raiders won 34-20, but then they had their first game in Las Vegas in prime time against the New Orleans Saints when all of the media who don't know football, all the people who cover the Raiders who don't know football, that's the problem. That's why you should listen to me, because I'm the only one that actually knows football. I don't do a fan cast. I'm not really good at writing articles. My grammar sucks, but I can tell you what, I know X's and O's, and I know good football, and I know bad football. This game against the New Orleans Saints in Vegas, this was good football for your Las Vegas Raiders offense. They were explosive. Darren Waller, fantastic. The whole offense was clicking. The Raiders take care of business and beat the New Orleans Saints 34-24 in a game that, hey, listen, they won by 10. They probably could have won by 20. The Raiders dominated. They are off to a 2-0 start, and listen, this was huge. And then after that, they were going to go in and play a New England Patriots team that wasn't very good, right? They had to go on the road. They had to go play on the East Coast. Now, they're playing against Bill Belichick, but remember, there is no Tom Brady. This New England Patriots team is terrible. The Raiders certainly can beat the Patriots. And I said before this game, if they don't beat the Patriots, mark my words, even though it's my Super Bowl, it'll be your Super Bowl too, because if they don't beat the Patriots, the Raiders won't be good this season, and they will be exposed. I don't care about the Saints game. What happens? The Raiders get owned, get destroyed. The defense gets exposed by a guy named Rex Burkhead. Rex Burkhead runs all over your Las Vegas Raiders, and Derek Carr looks terrible. The offense looks terrible. Darren Waller shut down. Bill Belichick laughs in John Gruden's face as Bill Belichick just completely mops the floor with Gruden. 36-20 in an embarrassing loss. The Raiders coming off that big win against the Saints. Well, guess what? Someone just popped the big hole in the balloon. Boom! It popped. Because then everyone's seen all the holes. Every team in the National Football League got to see we can run after Raiders. They have the worst defense in the NFL. Guess what? If we shut down Darren Waller, Derek Carr better go somewhere else, or nothing's going to happen. If Josh Jacobs can't get a run game going, if the Raiders can't get Josh Jacobs going, this is how you beat the Raiders. And the Patriots showed that. After that, they went to play Buffalo, and guess what? The Raiders got destroyed once again. But this time, it was in Las Vegas. It made no difference as the Raiders get smacked. The offense couldn't do anything at all, and the defense showed how bad they were again. They lose 30-23. But then after that game, a big game here, the Raiders go into Arrowhead, where Derek Carr has never won a football game in his career. He goes into Kansas City. Now, we got to put a little asterisk next to this game since, come on, it's not like the stadium was packed with rowdy Chiefs fans. It's been a weird season. But nonetheless, we still got to give him credit, right? Because he did it. Derek Carr goes into Arrowhead, and the Raiders showed what the Chiefs, people don't know this about the Chiefs. Let me give you some inside baseball type stuff. First of all, the Kansas City Chiefs, they are a type of team. Now, you may think this, but this ain't who they are. They do not want to get into shootouts with any team this season. They do not want to do that. Last year, yes, they would have done that, no problem. This season, they don't like shootouts. They hate it. They try to avoid it. They want to get a run game going. But the Raiders manage to get into a shootout with the Chiefs, the last thing that fat Andy Reid wanted, and the Raiders and Derek Carr, who, by the way, looked phenomenal in this game, using his legs. He was improvising. Everything was clicking. Now, the defense still sucked, but guess what? It was a shootout, and Derek Carr walks into Arrowhead and gets his first victory as the Raiders win 40-32. So even after the two debacles, the two bad games against the Patriots and the Bills, the Raiders beat the Chiefs. And I even had a little bit glimmer of hope that maybe that win would give them the momentum. But I'm going to tell you something right now. After that win, the Raiders went on a bye week. And that bye week, in my opinion, hindsight's 2020, looking at it now, that bye week hurt this team more than anything. It took away their momentum. It really did. It took away their momentum because after that they played the other team that's in the Super Bowl, by the way, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where they just got embarrassed. Derek Carr starts with the fumbling issues. I mean, this team just got completely embarrassed, all in Vegas, by the way. I mean, the Raiders were terrible in Vegas. I'm starting to question this move to Las Vegas. The Raiders franchise itself has already made some stupid moves since being in Vegas. Well, guess what? They better figure out how to win in Vegas, because they're not winning off the field in Vegas, that's for sure, but that's for another time. But let me tell you something, they get embarrassed by Tom Brady, a guy who John Gruden kind of wanted in the offseason, but didn't feel like paying him a whole bunch of money and all those types of things. And you know what? I don't really blame him. Tom Brady's pretty old, and I know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in a Super Bowl, but it's not because of Tom Brady. This guy threw 3 interceptions in a row against the Green Bay Packers. It's because they were playing as the Green Bay Packers, and Aaron Rodgers, I hate to tell the world this because for some reason no one wants to say it out loud, is overrated. Go look at his stats. This guy is one of the worst comeback quarterbacks of all time. He really is. I know for some reason the media hates to tell you this, but you can look it up. Google it. Anytime this guy's down by 7 points or more in the fourth quarter, this guy has, his comeback ratio is terrible. I mean, absolutely terrible. Derek Carr has more comebacks than Aaron Rodgers. I mean, the list of quarterbacks who have more comeback wins than Aaron Rodgers is absolutely insane. You would not believe me. I'm pretty sure Kerry Collins has more comeback wins than Aaron Rodgers. That's a joke, but it might be true. I'm not joking around. Just Google it. I don't have time to be doing that right now, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of names out there that have more comeback wins than Aaron Rodgers. No one throws 3 straight interceptions and still wins a football game. No one does. But that's why the Tampa Bay Bucs are in the Super Bowl right now. If that happened against the Raiders, imagine the Raiders defense getting 3 interceptions in a row, I guarantee you the Raiders win. So anyways, after that game, the Raiders go ahead and they go into Cleveland. And a game, it was raining. It was just a mess. But guess what? The Raiders got a good running game going. And it was kind of a weird game. But either way, a win is a win. And the Raiders won that game 16-6. And then 16-6, they beat the Cleveland Browns. After that, they went to play the LA Chargers. And they get another victory. And they win again. 31-26 in a very, very fun game. After that, of course, they go back to Vegas. This time they win. They beat the living crap out of the Denver Broncos and Drew Lock. But, I mean, that's really no accomplishment there. The Denver Broncos are a mess, a hot mess. But the Raiders win 3 in a row there, right? They win 3 in a row, after they lost against the Bills and the Patriots and Tampa Bay. Those are really ugly losses. They beat the Broncos, but then they had their rematch. And this is when I think their season kind of folded, to be honest with you. They have their rematch against the Chiefs. And there was a lot of media buzz over this game. Can the Raiders do it again? They already did it once. This game's going to be on prime time. I mean, this is on NBC. This is a huge game. And the Raiders, this time, they weren't as good at stopping the run. Unfortunately, for the Kansas City Chiefs, as Hilaire, he got a couple good runs. This time, and Jonathan Abram, I got to point him out. I mean, he's pretty much the reason why the Raiders lose this game. If he sticks to his assignment and does what he's supposed to do, which is kind of just stay back and stand ready, he probably picks off Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce never gets that touchdown at the end of the game. But anyways, that's what happened. The Raiders lose. I really think that was a devastating loss for the Raiders because after that, they go to Atlanta and wow. They get destroyed. They get embarrassed. Derek Carr's fumbling all over the place. The Raiders only score 6 points. Then the Atlanta Falcons, what do they win, like 3 games this season? They win 43-6. After that, the Raiders squeak one out, all because of the Jets being stupid, and they get a last-second touchdown, Carr to Ruggs, which, by the way, I mean, it should have never happened. It really shouldn't have. I mean, Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator for the Jets, all he had to do was put all his guys back, and the Raiders don't win the game. But for some reason, he throws out this huge blitz. It's like a 0 blitz on these guys. And then, Henry Ruggs is like basically one-on-one and it's a touchdown. That does not happen. That does not happen. But that's the New York Jets for you. And the Raiders do pull off that victory. But, I think the damage was already done. And they showed that the very next week as they go to Las Vegas and they get embarrassed by Phillip Rivers, who is retired now because he's old and he's really not that good. He's been overrated. This is a guy who would probably get in the Hall of Fame right away, even though Tom Flores has to wait all these years. Tom Flores has 2 Super Bowl rings. Phillip Rivers has 0. Phillip Rivers is known to choke. Tom Flores is known to win Super Bowls. And he will be in, by the way. He's finally going to get into the Hall of Fame, Tom Flores. He's finally going to get in. There's just, at least the Raiders organization think he will. And I think he's getting in. But anyways, that's going to be fun. He deserves to get in. After all, he's the only coach alive anywhere that's ever won 2 Super Bowls that's not in the Hall of Fame. No other coach has won 2 Super Bowls and is not in the Hall of Fame. So, Tom Flores, I think his time has come to get into the Hall of Fame. Now, back to the season. Then after that, the Raiders play the Chargers, and guess what? They lose in overtime because the defense shows they are bad. They are so bad. They can't stop a rookie quarterback. They lose in overtime, 30-27. Then after that game, not really a big game because it was kind of pointless. The season was pretty much over at that point. But anyways, it would have been a big game. Remember, this game got flexed because if you go all the way back, like I said, that Kansas City Chiefs, the second game, that was such a big game. Even if they lost that game and they beat Atlanta, they beat the Jets, and they beat the Colts, and they beat the Chargers, this game would have been huge. Or even if, let's say, they dropped the one against the Chargers, but beat the Colts, Jets, and Falcons. Still, this game would have meant something. But it meant nothing. Derek Carr pulls his groin. Marcus Mariota goes out there, and it was fun to watch for all Raider fans. Now Raider fans are wondering, wow, that run-pass option stuff sure looked a lot of fun. Those players looked like they were having a lot of fun out there. Mariota brought a whole new element to the game, but remember, this guy was basically playing backyard football, and I don't think John Gruden's going to keep this guy around, to be honest with you, with his contract. But I'll talk about that in a second. But anyways, the Raiders end up losing either way because Arden Key is a dummy. Pulls Fitzmagic's face mask. Not only does Ryan Fitzpatrick throw a bomb down the field, but Arden Key also pulls this dude's face mask for no reason and gives them 15 yards and lets them kick a field goal to win the game because that's the Raiders defense, because they are terrible. And then, of course, they wrap up this season, which I never talked about on a public show. They beat Drew Lock and the Denver Broncos in Mile High. Remember, it was January, so it's good for Derek Carr. They took care of business there. They squeaked one out, 32-31. But that was a game where, listen, the Raiders, it's Drew Lock. That guy's terrible. That guy is terrible. But the Raiders end up winning. It was at the last, Derek Carr did have to pull off some magic here at the end. So, but that's it. I don't really know if they needed to win that game, honestly, because it kind of just hurt their draft pick. If they keep that draft pick, who knows? I have a feeling they won't. I have a feeling they will trade that draft pick to get more picks because this team needs help. So now we're going to talk about what this team needs to do going forward, okay? First of all, this team, as you know, they hire Gus Bradley as a new defensive coordinator. I don't know what to think about the move. I'm going to have to wait and see. I'm not one of these people, who's going to tell you this is a great move or a bad move because I don't know. I don't know what kind of move it is until I see this defense. It's impossible for me to tell you it's a bad move or a good move until I see the defense. You know what I mean? Like, how does anyone know? Hopefully, what I'm thinking is it cannot get any worse than what we have witnessed. Because that defense for the Las Vegas Raiders this season, that's still going on, there's a Super Bowl coming in a couple of days, was the worst defense in the National Football League, in my opinion. They were so bad. There was zero pass rush. Their secondary was out there like confused every single play. They were just awful. Now, I know there's a lot of rumors. Derek Carr, of course, every offseason there's a lot of rumors about Derek Carr. A lot of controversy with Derek Carr, right? Every offseason. This season, remember he came in, he was mad. He was going to show the world, and guess what? The Raiders start off hot, just like last season. They go 6-3, and then they collapse. And they go, well, this year they went 8-8. Congratulations. But, come on. You didn't make the playoffs, you failed. If you don't win a Super Bowl, you're a failure to me, in my opinion. But anyways, I don't blame this season on Derek Carr, although the averaging one fumble per game stat is kind of, bad, especially when you have a defense like that. But this guy had the weapons around him. The Raiders were scoring points. John Gruden has to get better, especially in the red zone, something he said he was going to get better at this season. He failed to do that. And my question is, how long does Mark Davis wait if this keeps continuing? Because if John Gruden, if the Raiders are going to go 8-8 while they're in Vegas every single year, what's the point of keeping John Gruden? You are in a new place now. You have a new beautiful stadium. You're in a new city. You are in Vegas. You are in Las Vegas with that beautiful stadium. You cannot be the New York Jets. You cannot be just a team like that. An embarrassment. So Mark Davis has to do something. Now, I'm not going to give up on John Gruden. I'm going to give him one more year, like I said. And, I think Derek Carr, they don't need to, trade him or anything like that. I think you give him one more year, but they got to fix that defense. They failed in free agency. There's no doubt about that. Paul Guenther is gone. Someone had to take the blame, so he took it. But they got to fix that defense. That whole defensive line needs to change. Max Crosby, he's pretty good. But, you can't have just one person, right? You need a whole bunch of guys there. Their free agents, Malik Collins, this was supposed to be the anchor of their defensive line. The guy sucks. Get rid of him. Corey Littleton, they paid a whole bunch of money to. He sucked. Carl Nassib. This guy's terrible. You got guys all over. Their secondary is beyond atrocious. They don't know how to cover. Jonathan Abram, he likes to run his mouth. But guess what? When he gets on a football field, he gets schooled, and he looks like a punk. He runs his mouth like he's a big badass, but, he's getting schooled. I know Raider fans like that. He likes to run his mouth, but he's also not doing his job, and he's also losing you football games, and other teams are pointing and laughing at him on the sidelines. It's embarrassing, and that's why the alligator, Nelson Alligator, as you read that story, yelled at the team and things like that, telling them they sucked. Let me tell you something. I just want to give you guys a little something. That is not the only time that happened this season. There has been two other times that I know of, I could say, that other people have addressed the team and told them they need to get better or we're not going to make the playoffs. They were panicking. But the problem is there are some players on that team who simply do not care. There are some younger players on that team who simply do not care. The problem is when you bring players in from college that played at schools that they always used to win, they never had any adversity. They don't know what to do when they lose. They just crawl into a little ball and cry. That is what happened. That's what's happening here. High character guys. Well, you're high character guys. I don't care if they're high character. Know what I care about? Are they winners? Can they go on the field and can they help this team win? I don't care what kind of character issues they have, to be honest with you. I really don't care. Do you think the Chiefs care? Look, they got a scumbag like Tyreek Hill on their team, but they're in the Super Bowl. Do you think anyone in the media cares? No, they don't. Now, I don't condone what Tyreek Hill does. Like I said, he's a scumbag. I wish nothing but the worst for the guy. But, I mean, that's the reality. The dude is fast and no one can stop him. They weren't going after high character. They were going after the fastest guy available who can be a difference maker. That's what this defense needs. They need guys that can be a difference maker. Now, I know before we get to, well, they trade Khalil Mack. Even if they had Khalil Mack, it wouldn't have mattered. Because they have so many holes on that defense. It's not just one position. It's every position. I mean, God bless their souls, but when your starting safeties are Jeff Heath and Eric Harris are not going to win many football games. LaMarcus Joyner has been a waste of money. Malik Collins has sucked. Like I said, Carl Nassib has sucked. Corey Littleton, the Raiders are going to have to keep. They're going to restructure his contract. He's got to play better. I mean, that's it. And then on the offensive side of the ball, like I said, Josh Jacobs, he went to the Pro Bowl this season, but, I mean, he didn't do very good this year. I think he had 2 games where he ran over 100 yards. The guy kind of sucked. Let's admit it. Let's just be honest here. The guy sucked this season. Now, he did deal with some injuries and things like that, but he wasn't good. I'm sorry, he wasn't good. The Raiders need to go out and get another running back, a bigger back, because, you know, they have Theo Riddick, they had Devontae Booker, who I thought was really good at times when they used them. But for some reason, John Gruden did not want to use that guy. I have no idea why, because when they did, they had success. Especially, you know, doing, screens and things like that. I don't know. When he ran to the outside, he would break a few tackles, make a big move. But for some reason, they did not trust him. And then they have Jalen Richard, who I never liked. I think that guy sucks. It's time to cut him and go. Listen, I'm not alone here thinking this. There are players on that team right now that agree with me. There are coaches on that team that agree with me. There are players that are lazy. There are players who simply don't care. And this team needs to get rid of those players. Guys who only came in for a check. Guys who aren't motivated to play. I mean, if you're not motivated to play, then get out of the NFL. Especially when you're getting paid big money like that. I mean, it was a robbery. It was a robbery. So John Gruden's got to find better talent. They got to draft better because last year's draft, what did they get out of it? They got Bryan Edwards, who they didn't want to throw a ball to for some reason for pretty much the whole season. And then you got Damon Arnett, who's, late to practice and always injured. Not ready. I mean, come on. He's a first-round pick that you overreached for that you could have gotten a 3rd round. And you went and picked him in the 1st round. When you could have got someone, I don't know, CeCe Lamb or someone. Someone that would make a difference on offense, at least another weapon on offense that can help you score more points. Because clearly you need to score a shitload of points to be competitive because your defense can't stop a high school football team. Now, this all falls on Mike Mayock and John Gruden. John Gruden runs a show. Mike Mayock and his scouts, they go looking for talent, only in college, and then they bring their best guys to Gruden, and Gruden picks out of that bunch. That's how it works. So, I mean, Gruden's got to get better. He's got to get better. With the whole Derek Carr stuff, a lot of fans were mad at him for wearing a vest or something. They thought it had something to do with the Capitol riots, or it didn't. I hate to break the news to those people, but it had nothing to do with that. And then, of course, someone, I don't know who the hell, who was it? Some dummy, like, it's not even news. It's not even, it's some guy made up, some radio guy, I don't know, that rat-faced dude. I can't think of his name. He made up, Colin Cowherd, sorry. He made up, like this, like, fantasy thing. What if the Raiders gave 3 first-round picks, Darren Waller and Derek Carr, for Deshaun Watson? Okay, first of all, there has been no talk of that at all. Let me just explain that to you right now. There has been no talks of that at all at this point, okay? And then second, why would the Raiders have to give up 2 or 3 first-round picks and Darren Waller? They're not trading Darren Waller. They could easily go to the Texans right now because Deshaun Watson wants to get out of there so bad, and probably just give them Derek Carr and a first-round pick for Deshaun Watson. That's probably all it would take, to be honest with you. But I don't think the Raiders are going to do that, because then Gruden would have to get him into his system. And, listen, I don't want a whole rebuild. I want Derek Carr to win. And the guy, like I said, did not play bad this season at all. He really didn't. He made a couple bonehead moves. We all know that, but every quarterback does. The fumbling thing, yes, that was stupid. But for the most part, he made the right reads. Would I love Deshaun Watson? Of course I would. But remember, the Texans weren't fantastic with Watson either. But yeah, would I like a guy who can do the run pass option? Yeah, I think that's what Gruden needs. I think what John Gruden really needs is a quarterback, kind of like an asshole, like Rich Gannon, that would go on the sidelines and give him a piece of his mind, if shout back right out in his face. Derek Carr, I think, is just lets John Gruden just yell at him, and Derek Carr says, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Enough of that. I thought he was going to be angry. I thought he was going to not take it anymore. Well, it starts with doing that with your coach, because this guy's going to run you down and then run you out of town, Derek. I am telling you that right now. So you need to go out there, and if he calls a play, you need to change that play up. And if it works, I guarantee you he's not going to say shit to you. He ain't going to say nothing to you. But that's what you need to do. Because if this guy's calling the wrong play and you're looking at that defense and you say, oh, no, I know I could get, let's say, Ruggs wide open, then you go for that play. Scrap whatever Gruden wants. Because clearly Gruden's struggling to draw plays in the red zone. I mean, John Gruden has not made some good decisions at all. For example, he started Jason Witten over Foster Moreau. Jason Witten would have been fine. Bring him back for a year. Guy's going to retire. But make him the number 2 or number 3 tight end. Don't let him start over Foster Moreau. I mean, come on. So that's where we go from here. Like I said, I don't think the Raiders are going to trade Derek Carr, but it's still way early, so I don't want to say I know that or anything. I'm just telling you what I think. And a lot of players and a lot of coaches were not happy with this team this season. There's a lot of players on this roster who need to go for a lot of reasons that, trust me, they need to go. And the Raiders got to clean that up. The first thing they need to do, guys, don't worry about Derek Carr. Let's put Derek Carr to the side, because it doesn't matter if you have Joe Montana, Derek Carr, or Charlie Fry as your quarterback, okay? If you have a defense like that, you're not going to win any games. You're going to be 8-8 every single season. That's just the reality of the situation. Tampa Bay Bucks are in the Super Bowl this year. Why? After Tom Brady throws 3 consecutive interceptions. Why are they in the Super Bowl? Because of their defense. The Chiefs are in the Super Bowl this year. Why? Because of their defense and their offense. But pretty much their defense stepped up too in the playoffs. So that's where it comes down to. And that's where the Raiders got to get better. They got to at least get an average defense that can maybe get some turnovers. This team doesn't get no turnovers. They need guys that can get some interceptions, and you get guys that get pressure on the quarterback. Gus Bradley has to fix this defense. If they can fix this defense, I feel like with one more running back and one more wide receiver, because I don't know if the alligator is going to remain with the Raiders, guys. I don't know. not looking good at this point, but, things change daily with that. But if he's not, there's going to be plenty of veteran wide receivers that are really good that the Raiders can go get. And they already have talent. You have Bryan Edwards, you have Darren Waller, you have Hunter Renfrow, who I think is highly, highly underrated. This guy is very good. The Raiders need to use him more. Ruggs will be in his second year. Like I said, Jacobs, you get another running back in a draft. This offense is going to be just fine. The defense needs to be fixed. It needs to be fixed. And next season, we're going to watch what they do in the offseason and free agency, and hopefully they, bring in the right guys. They don't have a lot of money, but be smart, bring in guys who want to win. Go out and get guys from the Jets. Go out and get guys from, these crappy teams that are pretty good, and maybe, they want to win so bad. They see that Derek Carr really wants to win so bad. I mean, the guy does. You can't say he doesn't. That guy really wants to win. You think he's likes losing like this every single year? The guy's never even been in a playoff game. I mean, that's got to change. And this season, the 2021 season, my eyes are on Derek Carr. My eyes are on Jon Gruden. Because if it does not get better, if this team does not get into the playoffs and at least win a playoff game, I am going to want Jon Gruden gone. I am going to want Derek Carr gone. Because clearly, this team is going to need a complete rebuild. And I hate rebuilds. This team rebuilt like 25 times in the last 5 years. It's stupid. No team needs a complete rebuild ever, by the way. It's pretty simple to do. It usually takes you like a year. Sometimes you don't even need to. You can get by and then the next season be really good. This year, the Raiders, they got to blow up the entire defense. They really do. They got to blow it all up. Defensive line, everyone sucks. Secondary, there's probably like 2 good players in that secondary. Linebackers, Nicholas Morrow had a big step up, by the way, but he's pretty much the only one. Kwiatkowski, he was the only decent guy, I think, there. Corey Littleton, he can't cover anyone. So this team needs a lot of help. And Gruden and Mayock, Raider Nation, they are trusting you. They are watching you. Mark Davis, Raider Nation, is watching you. If you want them to buy your tickets in your shiny new stadium, well, you better start producing wins. And if players get sensitive about that, about fans wanting their team to win, well, I don't know what to tell you, because that's bizarre. These fans spend their hard-earned money on merchandise, on tickets, and all of this stuff. And I'm sorry that they don't like it when you lose. They want to root for a winner. You cannot get mad at a fan who spends their hard-earned money. They work all week to buy a Raiders shirt, and they get mad that you lose. Come on now. Now, the personal attacks on family members and stuff, that's just stupid. But why are you getting upset about that anyways? You're in the NFL making millions of dollars. What the hell do you care about what Joe in Utah says? I mean, I don't even care what Joe in Utah says, and I make no money. I'm basically homeless over here, and I don't really care. You know what I mean? And these guys are making, $1 million and they're whining about it. Oh, they hurt my feelings on Instagram. Well, delete your Instagram and get to practice, because next season, this team better be ready to roll. We demand victories. We demand playoffs. Mark Davis, you want a brand new era with the Raiders? Well, it better be an era of winning, because that has been missing from the Raiders in the last decade. My name is Steven Michaels. This is the Raiders Daily.